Alright everyone, so Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. I'd say it's, pretty good. Except for this one section of Jojo, which I thought was really bad. I'm not saying that the entire part is bad, because it really isn't, but it's mainly this series of battles, or well, really only two battles that were really connected to each other, where I thought, like, what the hell am I even watching? And I am referring to around the start of Stardust Crusaders, specifically the Dark Blue Moon and the Strength battles. I made a video like this before, but I merely just said pretty much that. But here I'm gonna go more in depth on why I don't really like these sections of JoJo. The first reason, and the main reason, is that it was really boring. Like, this is really the main problem I have regarding this section. I'd say the first half of Dark Blue Moon was pretty cool, actually. Like, Jotaro being able to tell that Tonelli was a stand user with that nose trick. But after that, I'd say that the section went really downhill. The Dark Blue Moon fight itself was really boring to me. Like, I just didn't care at all. And yeah, I know Starfinger is a meme, but it's a really bad meme that's really only popular because Jotaro never used it again. It was just something that shouldn't have happened, and I know it was just Araki experimenting at the time, but yeah, it just didn't work out for that battle, and it makes sense why we never saw Starfinger ever again. It just makes no sense. It's just really weird, and yeah. And not only is that fight boring, but then right after we get Strength, which I would say is the absolute worst fight in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, or at the very least bottom 3, maybe even bottom 2. I'd say it's bottom 2, because man, this fight was really boring. Like, I seriously did not care that much about anything going on in this section, especially coming right after a fight that was already boring to begin with. I was just dreading everything that was going on. Like you probably know why. And I mean, it's hard to talk about how bad this fight was without addressing the main problem, which is the characters introduced. They're really bad. Forever and Anne are the worst characters in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And it's not even close. Anne was so annoying. She just shouldn't have been there. There was no purpose to having her around. Genuinely, no reason why she was even a character. And it was just like, man, I'm literally trying to see anyone else in the story. Like, not even just the Stardust Crusaders. I'm literally trying to see anyone else in the story of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Literally anyone else. Well, no, I lied. I lied straight to your face, because anyone except Forever. Because the character was so bad, I didn't even remember its name. I was just writing the orangutan in my script until I decided to look it up. I don't even think I have to mention that scene. But yeah, the character was just super messed up. Like, really a complete weirdo. And it's just, no, I'm not. No. You all know what I'm referring to. So no, I hate him. Like, it shouldn't even be the 5.4% of my audience who gets it. All of you should be getting it. And all of you should know why his character is the worst thing to come out of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So not only was this section in itself bad, but there was also some really bad timing to it. What I mean by this is that the area where the battle took place regarding all of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was really bad. Not only did it happen in the beginning of the part, but just like think about everything that happened beforehand in Stardust Crusaders, which, let me remind you, is the first part that has stands. Like, Stardust Crusaders, probably has the most hype beginning out of all of the JoJo parts, and like the most hype concept. I mean, they're going on an adventure to try and stop Dio and encountering stand fights along the way. That sounds amazing. And like the first fight they have is Tower of Grey, which could be boring to some. Just felt like a mini battle in my opinion. Like, oh, alright, this is our first battle, and it's in a plane, and we don't know who it is. Like, there was some tension there, and it was like the very first fight, so I guess you could cut it some slack. But then you get to the second and third fights, Dark Blue Moon and Strength, and it's just like, you're bored of it already. It's just nothing but another battle. And this is the first thing that a lot of the part suffers from. But I think this part is definitely the worst, since the other stands in later on in Stardust Crusaders were a lot cooler. And I think this is just the first occurrence of that boredom that makes it feel the worst, because you just get used to it as Stardust Crusaders goes on. And there are even some really good fights in Stardust Crusaders, like Darby and Whole Horse and Jay Guile, all of that. So yeah, it's just where this section was in the grand scheme of JoJo just gave it a lot of pressure and hype that it definitely does not live up to the hype on. The only cool thing I could say about this section was that it was over very quickly, because man, that was garbage. Okay, but seriously, I guess Strength is, as a stand, pretty interesting and gave us a whole new idea on what a stand could be, since before this was the only stand we've seen that was just like a big creature object thing with an ability. And since Tower of Grey was basically just a fly and everything else was just some weird type of human animal weird thingy shape. But Strength, however, let us know that literally anything could be a stand, like any object at all, since a whole ship could be valid for what a stand is. But remember, this thing was like the only thing that was even good when it came to the Strength fight. And of course, Dark Blue Moon had a pretty good beginning with showing Jotaro being really smart. Now, you could say that this section of Stardust Crusaders was pretty decent. Like, I did give them a few compliments here, but I mean, JoJo overall is really good, and the parts afterward didn't really have a bad section, like a certain section that was really bad. So yeah, this was the lowest point of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But what if we were to talk about something hidden in a future part? Like maybe Josuke Higashikata's hidden secret. Wait, so this whole video was just a Tomodachi game reference? What the hell?